Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I'm glad to receive all of you here once again. It's very inspiring that at least every week you have some people joining us to actually learn about this whole DRep initiative. Um, so today we are going to dive straight into it, and today we are looking at the process of joining the DRep ecosystem. So originally we were supposed to have a practical session where we guide you guys through how to actually become a DRep or register as a DRep, and also, I mean, probably play around with some of the functionalities on the Graph tool. But unfortunately, the Graph tool is down now because the Sancho network is also down at the moment. So we will not be able to have that practical session, but we are going to have more like a theoretical session where, we try to demonstrate to you through probably pictures how you can actually register to become a DRep. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to try out the various functionalities on the platform yet, but hopefully sometime when it is restored, we'll probably see if we can have another session to actually go through that. Martin, your translation.
Voilà, il était en train de dire que on était le bienvenu pour les quatrièmes modules qui va nous conduire pratiquement sur comment devenir un DRep. Mais on va tous être dans cette salle ici où on va essayer de, de faire l'intermittence entre les deux langues, le français et l'anglais. Mais aussi, il exprime la difficulté qu'il y a pour le moment avec les sites de Sanchonet, où on devrait faire ça pratiquement. Les sites, pour le moment, est en maintenance. Et donc, on espère que on aura une occasion future pour pouvoir faire cela pratiquement dès que le site sera remis en marche. Voilà.
Awesome. So today we are looking at module 4. Next slide. And as stated earlier, we are just looking at how individuals can basically become part of this whole ecosystem. So at the end of this presentation or session, you probably would have learned about the various processes that you can go through as an individual to basically become a DRep, and also how you can actually engage with the community, and probably use some of the review tools available. Yeah, so let's dive straight up into it. Okay, so in this module, we'll focus on how to become the DRep. And like I said, it was supposed to be practical, but unfortunately, we cannot have the practical session, but we're going to have a theoretical session, which probably is also more like a demo. Now, later on, when you have your hands on the practical, on the main network, you can probably go through and then, have it as a guide to probably get yourself on board as a DRep in the ecosystem. And this is going to be step by step. And we all know that any member of the Cardano community can basically register and be identified by their DRep ID. And that essentially also means that, once you have a DRep ID, you can receive voting power from data holders. And there is no really requirement for, this particular registration because you are going to use the GAF tool. So you don't really need any requirement. The only thing you would need is you need a GitHub account, an active GitHub account, and then you would also need a wallet, a pre-prod wallet. So either Eternal or whichever option that is available. Martin, please translate first.
Voilà. Il est dit que tout le monde, sans distinction, peut devenir un DRep. Donc, tout le monde peut s'inscrire au niveau de la communauté et avoir les identifiants nécessaires pour devenir DRep. Et les pouvoirs d'un DRep se déterminent en fonction du pouvoir des votes ou la quantité d'AIDA qui lui est déléguée. Et cela signifie qu'il n'y a pas en tout cas des nombres fixes des DRep bien qu'il y ait encore des discussions autour de cela, mais en tout cas, tout le monde peut rejoindre l'écosystème des DRep et tout le monde peut attirer les délégations. Pour s'inscrire, tout ce qu'il faut avoir, c'est un compte au niveau de GitHub qui va permettre de stocker les informations, mais aussi il faut avoir un wallet pour les testnets, c'est un wallet qui soit sur les Sancho Testnet Network, sur les réseaux des tests Sanchonet. Et quand ça sera sur les mainnets, bien sûr qu'il faudrait que les wallets soient sur les mainnets.
Okay. And next slide. Okay, so now we are going to go through these steps, and you just have to note them, and then hopefully later when it is restored, you can probably use it as a practical guide. Or better so, we probably might have another session to actually go through all over again, and then see at least if one or two are able to register as DReps and probably play around with the various functionalities. So step number one is you need to visit the Gov2 site. And the Gov2 website basically is sanchogov.tools. And once you get there, you need to connect your wallet, and then you're good to go. But it is recommended that you use preferred wallet types because we are still on testnet. We have not migrated to mainnet yet. So when you use mainnet wallet, you will not be able to access the functionalities, or you're not able to register as a DRep. So just use preferred wallet, which are more likely for or more suitable for testnet activities. Martin will translate before you go to next slide, please. Before.
Voilà, le...
Quick question. Before Martin comes in, how do people get a pre-prod wallet? Like, where, how?
Okay, so right, I didn't include that in this particular presentation, but I can just give an overview of how to go about it. So when you go to, let's say for instance you're using Eternal, when you go to Eternal browser extension on your laptop, and then you are creating a wallet, you realize that down below there is a I wish I could just demonstrate this, but down below there is a signal that indicates that you're on mainnet. So once you click on that, it will change, or it will allow you to select amongst a certain list which one you want to actually work with. So there you can choose a preprod wallet from there, and then you can continue with the registration. So now the wallet that you're going to
it looks like we lost an Asafo. Or is it my
Yes, I think we lost him. So while
am I coming through?
Yeah, you are coming. Yeah, we just lost you for a second.
Okay, sure. So let me do this. Pardon me, let me just take the screen sharing and then probably run us through how the preprod wallet looks like. Thank you. So share screen. Share. Okay, I hope my screen is coming through and
Yes.
I'm loud.
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome. Okay. So you realize that on my screen I have these two here. This is Eternal beta, and then this is Eternal. So for instance, you're going to use Eternal, and there is a process of actually getting this here. I think when you get on YouTube and you search for, Eternal on Google Chrome, you have a video, a very simple video that will guide you as to how to get this, over here on your PC. So all you have to do here is from here, you click on this, then it is going to open up Eternal for you. Good. So once this is here, you realize that there's add wallet here. You just click on add wallet, and then on the add wallet, you realize that down here we have something called SanchoNet here. So if you're using the mainnet wallet, it will rather be mainnet instead of SanchoNet. So all you have to do is you click on that. Now to give you the opportunity to select which wallet type you want to actually create. I don't know, but Martin, should I pause so that you translate at least the letter I've said before I continue? I think that will work, right?
Voilà.
Yeah.
Nana était en train de dire au départ que pour commencer, on doit avoir un wallet qui est sur les testnets. Et là, il est en train de démontrer comment on peut avoir un wallet qui est sur les réseaux testnet. Alors, on peut continuer à suivre. Peut-être ceux qui sont en train de pratiquer peuvent aussi le faire de leur côté. Mais pour le moment, il est en train d'essayer de créer un wallet pour démontrer comment ça se passe pratiquement.
Okay. So from here, you realize that we have Cardano mainnet as the first one. So that is not where we are looking at because that is a mainnet. But now you're looking at the test networks. And SanchoNet has created, I mean, a network for, Sancho activities. So for instance, the DRep and the constitutional committee stuff that we're doing, they have created a network for it. So instead of, just, you can also use a pre-prod testnet, which is a pre-production testnet to also work out. But here you can just go ahead and select SanchoNet as your preferred wallet type. Then it is going to load for you. So now you realize that down here, you are in the SanchoNet, right? Now you can go ahead and then create your wallet. So you can open your wallet. So you go to add wallet and then you create your wallet. You give it a name and then you give it a password. And then you go ahead with that, just like a normal user wallet registration. So it's the same process. The only thing that is different here is that you're going to change from here, from mainnet to your SanchoNet, and then you are good to go. And then when you are done, you need to request test data from the faucet so that you're able to use it for the test activities on the platform. Let me go back to the slides. I think I put it somewhere in the slides. Okay, I didn't put it there. All right, so now going to the next one. So like I said, there are some selected wallets that are compatible with the SanchoGov2 testnet platform at the moment. And those are Eternal, we have Euro, and then we have Lace. So these are all wallet types that you can basically use to connect with the SanchoNet platform. Martin?
Voilà, Nana est en train de dire que pour le moment, tous les wallets ne sont pas encore compatibles avec la version testnet sur les SanchoGov Tools. Et pour le moment, nous avons seulement Eternal, nous avons Yoroi et aussi Lace Wallets qui peuvent vous permettre de vous connecter pour tester les outils de gouvernance.
Okay. So now that you have selected your wallet type, of course, you have created your account already on your wallet. You have to connect the wallet. So once you select the wallet type, you'll be asked to go through a certain channel, not much, just allowing your wallet to automatically connect with the platform. That is what you would do, and you will do that on your either Eternal or Lace or what do you call it, Yoroi platform. I think with Lace, once you click on Connect Wallet, a pop-up comes and then it will be asking you to actually grant access or allow the connectivity. But even before then, you should have made sure that in your wallet you already have connected your wallet to what do you call it? So you connect your wallet to the DRep browser here. So once you click on this, you need to make sure that this is already plugged, right? So if it is not plugged, then it means that you are not connected. But if it is plugged and it is green like this, then it means you are connected. So once you try to connect automatically, it will give you a pop-up so that you're able to connect your wallet and then use your wallet for your activities on the platform. So with wallets like Eternal, it is always recommended that you set collateral in your wallet settings to facilitate a seamless experience. So that the transactions are very easy and very fluent in their flow. Martin?
Voilà. Pour connecter votre wallet, tout d'abord, vous l'avez déjà créé. Maintenant, il faut les connecter au site. Vous devez d'abord activer la connexion, comme Nana l'a démontré, en activant les petits boutons dans votre wallet. Et puis maintenant, revenir et connecter votre wallet sur les sites.
Okay. So now that your wallet is automatically or successfully connected, it will be directed to, the dashboard. And from the dashboard now, you can now begin your DRep registration. So from here, you have various options on the platform. On the dashboard, so you have, delegate your voting power, register as a DRep, you have a view governance actions, and probably, some other ones that probably will come later on. So here you have to click on register to move to the next stage. Martin?
Voilà, quand vous avez déjà connecté votre wallet, vous pouvez déjà aller sur les tableaux de bord où vous allez déjà voir votre balance affichée en haut à droite dans l'écran. Et à partir de là, sur les dashboards, vous avez les possibilités. Vous pouvez soit utiliser votre pouvoir de vote pour voter vous-même, ou encore vous pouvez voir les actions de gouvernance. Mais le plus intéressant, c'est que vous pouvez aussi vous enregistrer en tant que DRep. C'est la partie encerclée en rouge.
Okay. So at step 5, you will be asked to provide certain information about you as a DRep. For now, because this is just a test net, this is not kind of mandatory. It is not a required field that you have to actually provide. But then probably when we get onto mainnet, it's going to be a required field because this information will be required of you as a DRep so that it will help either holders to decide who they want to delegate their voting power to and who not to delegate their voting power to. And there's one critical thing here, which is the URL and hash that will be given to you. So this basically is sharing info about yourself, and it is currently for the beta. So you don't really need to worry about it because there's not a full implementation yet. But you can also skip it. But for now, you have to probably click on how to create URL and hash to probably learn about how to go about things. But there is an easy way. So what you do is that when you go to the next slide, so when you go, so for here, you realize that they will send you a link, right? Once you click on register, you'll be given a link, and that link will be given to you via your downloads. So you will need to download that link, and this is where the use of GitHub would come in. So once you download the link, you need to upload the link onto GitHub. It's basically a file that has, for now, it contains some sort of a dummy text, so it doesn't really make any sense, or it doesn't read any meanings. So you take it to GitHub, and on your profile, if for instance you're a developer, you have, you probably would have worked on some project already, so you have the option to add it as a file, and then once you add it as a file, you make it public, and then you copy you copy the link from there, and then you bring it here. So you just put it in as your URL with extra info about you. So you just put it there, and then you click on skip, and then you move on. But like I said, because it's not a practical session, I know it will be difficult for you to actually grab the understanding of what I'm talking about. But it is not anything difficult. I think it is very easy. And I think there are demo videos on YouTube as well that actually talks about how you can even go about this whole hash and URL activities. But probably in the nearest future, we'll have a session to actually go through practically so that everybody at least gets to understand how to connect their metadata to their DRep platforms. Martin?
Voilà, ici c'est la partie sur les métadonnées. Les métadonnées, ce sont les informations. Je pense que cette partie ici, en tout cas, elle est importante parce que on aimerait avoir suffisamment d'informations sur vous sur vos capacités, sur comment les gens peuvent vous joindre. Donc, c'est important de pouvoir insérer ici. Je crois que la partie ici est même déjà un peu plus améliorée sur la version qui était déjà là sur Sanchonet. Et on peut voir vos informations, votre adresse mail, ce que vous pensez être, vous pouvez l'écrire. Et quand vous le faites, on demande à ce que vous puissiez télécharger ces fichiers-là localement sur votre ordinateur d'abord. Et puis, vous allez aller les stocker dans un emplacement qui va vous fournir un lien, un URL public. Ça peut être sur GitHub, ce qui fonctionne pour le moment, mais aussi on donne d'autres possibilités. Et cela va permettre aux gens de pouvoir aller vous chercher, aller voir vos informations personnelles. Peut-être s'ils veulent vous connecter, ils peuvent aller chercher vos informations sur GitHub ou sur autre emplacement que vous avez mis en place pour garder vos informations. Merci.
Okay. Now, with the next step, you're just going to confirm your registration, and then this is where the transaction will happen. So, originally, when you want to sign up as a DRep, you are deducted a certain amount of ADA from your wallet, and that ADA is, held in the treasury, so that later, if you choose to retire as a DRep, that ADA be refunded back to your wallet for you to use after. So it's just like if you register to participate as a voter, I'm using Catalyst as a scenario here. If you register to participate as a voter, right? Once you register, you want to make sure that at least by the time that snapshot is being done, you have enough voting power, so you don't really transact, or you don't really trade your ADA. So you want to keep enough ADA in your wallet so that by the time snapshot is being done, you have at least, or you get a significant voting power. But immediately snapshot is done, you can now begin to spend your ADA or trade your ADA, because now the snapshot has already been done and you have this voting power. So the same way, once you register as a DRep, that amount of ADA is deducted from your wallet. It's more like a consent for you, registering as a DRep. So at least that kind of indicates that, okay, person A has registered as a DRep, and then that ADA is held in the treasury up until when you decide to retire. Then it is released back to you for your personal use. So here now, all you have to do is just click on register. After all the other process has been done, you just click on register, and then you wait for the next prompt. Martin.
Before Martin comes in, just a short addition here. So, like that DRep, that small amount of money that's taking is not a lot. We can also liken it to when you decide to delegate to a stake pool. I think at this point, it's about two ADA that is taken from your wallet and is held. As long as you are delegated to a stake pool, they have that 2 ADA. And any time that you decide that, you know what, I don't want to delegate this wallet anymore, you get that 2 ADA returned to you. So it's very much similar to that as well. All right, thanks.
I was going to ask Nana Safo how much it is, but you come in and clarify that it's just 2 ADA, because I got interested when you said it is taken out today, and when you decide to retire, then it's given back to you. So my question here, since you bring the retirement thing in, my question is, so once you retire, is it the same 2 ADA, or maybe it is giving to you with accumulated interest?
Well, when you are registering to become a DRep, the figure here now is 500 ADA. But if you are delegating your voting power to a DRep, that is where the 2 ADA, in addition to your voting power, comes in. So your 2 ADA is held hostage, and then the voting power is kind of a snapshot to delegate the voting power to the DRep. But for the DRep, once you're registering, it's 500 ADA for now. But once you are retiring, it is still 500 ADA that you're going to receive from the treasury.
Yeah, thanks for that clarification,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this one would be more the example that like when you register as a stake pool, right? I think that one right now between I think it's something between 300 and 500. So okay, yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. Thanks for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Samuel, there is no interest.
There's no interest. Because this, you talk about retirement, I thought maybe, okay, somebody's retiring, let's give him a package for his retirement benefit for working as a DRep. So I thought maybe
more like SNIT.
Yes, more like SNIT.
I think that you should attend a workshop, one of the constitutional workshop, and suggest that.
Yeah. Interestingly, if we had this session before I attended the Berlin workshop, I would have at least put across that, because there were questions on DReps and a few questions like that, which we needed to answer, and
Yeah, but as a DRep, definitely you're going to receive rewards when you work diligently. So you probably would have made your gains already before you decide to
for retirement. Okay, and is the retirement voluntary, or is it a statute that maybe after this age you can no longer be a DRep, or after something, or you can be there as long as you want to be there, and anytime you want to retire, you can just retire? Are there any regulations around that?
Yeah, so per current discussions, retirement is voluntary. So you choose when to retire.
Okay.
But going forward, probably discussions would allow that, some other, probably governance actions could be moved to actually, retire some DReps or something. I don't know, but and I think basically if there's even going to be such activity, then it is going to be based on who is not following the guard rules. So if you're not following the guard rules and the guidelines, and you're not doing the diligent work, then obviously, you will have to be retired from being a DRep, because you're just filling up space and then blocking others probably. So yeah.
So maybe it's a good time for Martin to come in now. Martin, you can summarize this step and maybe tie in high-level summary the questions that we have been asking, and what Mercy submission and everything.
Voilà. Il y avait des questions intéressantes, et les questions étaient autour du montant qu'on dépose quand on est en train de s'enregistrer en tant que DRep. Merci à signaler que c'est un peu similaire à ce qu'on fait en créant un stake pool. Il y a un montant qu'on doit mettre quand on crée un stake pool. Et voilà, quand on est aussi en train de s'inscrire en tant que DRep, il y a un montant qu'on doit prendre de notre wallet, mais ces montants-là et nous revient quand on se retire. Donc, quand vous ne voulez plus être DRep, ce montant-là qui a été pris dans votre wallet est retourné. Alors, l'autre question, c'était par rapport à Samuel qui pensait peut-être que ce serait une récompense qu'on donne à quelqu'un parce qu'il a servi en tant que DRep, et on a clarifié en disant que c'est juste un montant qu'on prend et qu'on va vous remettre quand vous décidez de ne plus exercer votre fonction en tant que DRep. Mais aussi, il a été signalé que les retraits pour le rôle de DRep n'est pas basé sur un certain mandat ou n'est pas basé sur autre critère, c'est volontaire. Donc, quand vous avez envie d'arrêter de faire ce rôle, peut-être vous n'avez plus le temps ou vous êtes occupé avec autre chose. En tout cas, c'est volontaire de pouvoir vous retirer. Voilà, can I continue with the slide on the screen?
Yeah, you can. Just wrap it up and then.
Voilà, et pour ce qui est pour les étapes de l'inscription ou de l'enregistrement en tant que DRep, maintenant, quand vous avez déjà mis vos informations personnelles, maintenant, c'est le moment de confirmer votre inscription, notamment en signant cette transaction-là dans votre wallet qui va faciliter les transferts de ces montants-là. Il a été signalé que les discussions sont encore en cours, peut-être les montants peuvent changer d'ici là. Et donc, quand vous enregistrez, c'est le moment qu'on prend ces montants-là dans votre wallet avec lesquels vous êtes enregistré, et ces montants vont vous revenir quand vous décidez euh, de vous retirer. Mais j'aimerais signaler aussi que l'on prend surtout cet argent-là pour éviter, pour essayer un peu de limiter les attaques civiles, là où euh, tous les gens vont. Il y en a des personnes qui peuvent essayer à créer beaucoup plus de comptes DRep. Et puis quand on doit chaque fois vous prendre un certain montant d'aide dans votre wallet, c'est que parfois cela pourrait décourager cela. Mais aussi, les DRep ont la possibilité d'attirer autant. Ce n'est pas comme les stake pools qui sont remplis. À un moment donné, on dit saturation. Avec les DReps, il n'y a pas de saturation. Donc, un DRep peut attirer autant de délégations qu'il le peut. Cela montre à plus forte raison qu'on n'a pas, en tout cas, des motivations de vouloir avoir beaucoup plus de comptes. Merci. Mostly, the following slides should be on how to be engaged with the community. I think that is the remaining thing after you have successfully registered as a DRep and you have signed your transaction within your wallet. The next step is now to understand how you get engaged with the community. Alors,
Aduva is back to sharing. Aduva, can you take us to the next slide so that Martin can talk about it at least in French? And I'm sure Anasafo is trying to reconnect, and when he comes, he also takes us through the English. Martin, is it this slide you were talking about or the previous one?
Yeah, this one is on how to register as a DRep.
Oh, okay. So is that what we have just talked about?
Yeah, this is what we have been talking about before we.
Oh, okay. So Adufa, next slide is what?
Yeah. So I think maybe he just made it short.
Okay.
But the following step is on engagement, how you get engaged with the community. So it is said that the Gov tool allows everyone to get to be a DRep and to attract more delegation and vote on governance actions. So there is no exclusion, no kind of a given kind of people is excluded from that. Everyone has a chance to go to the Gov tool, whether to become a DRep or to vote with their own power. The other thing is that the DRep has really to be near the community, as he has to explain all his opinions to people he represents. He needs to make everything clear about why he is voting this, why he says yes to this governance action, and why he says no on this one. Because as soon as people will feel like he's not transparent, they will move their delegations maybe to another DRep. So the power is in the hands of ADA holders. They decide whose one is getting their voting power, and as soon as they get not really understanding what he's doing or what are his opinions, then they can move. So DReps are encouraged really to keep the conversations to keep their informations clear. We saw on metadata, you drop in your metadata, your mail, your social media handles, so people are able to join you and get into discussions, maybe to ask questions or clarifications on any or other positions you take on governance actions. So that's it. That's what I can say about engagements as a DRep. We need to keep that in mind. ADA holders are the boss, and we need to make everything clear with them so that we attract more delegators and have a sweet experience as a DRep voting on governance actions.
Yes, thank you very much, Martin.
Je peux y aller un peu en français.
Voilà
les.
Hello, please. Martin. You want to say all that you have said in French as well, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Voilà. Après qu'on se soit enregistré en tant que DRep avec succès, franchi toutes les étapes, maintenant c'est le moment où la partie intéressante arrive, où on doit se rassurer qu'on on s'engage avec la communauté, qu'on est proche de la communauté. La gouvernance et les sites de gouvernance, les GovTools, donnent en tout cas la possibilité à tous les détenteurs d'AIDA de pouvoir s'enregistrer et de participer en tant que DRep, mais aussi attirer les délégateurs pour pouvoir encaisser un certain pouvoir des votes. Alors, on aimerait que, en tout cas, pour réussir cette mission-là, on a parlé des métadonnées, donc les informations sur les DRep. Vous devez vous rassurer que vous avez inséré des informations pertinentes et intéressantes, notamment l'adresse mail, vos noms sur les médias sociaux, pour que la communauté puisse être capable de vous joindre quand ils aimeraient, par exemple, entamer des discussions sur votre opinion, sur votre position, pourquoi vous votez oui, pourquoi vous votez non, pourquoi vous vous abstenez sur une action de gouvernance. Il faudrait que, en tout cas, les détenteurs d'AIDA puissent vous accéder facilement pour pouvoir mener ces discussions. Sinon, vous risquerez de frustrer les délégataires et peut-être se voir en train de perdre les pouvoirs des votes. Donc, il faut se rassurer qu'on est accessible en tant que DRep, qu'on est proche de la communauté et qu'on communique sur ses opinions par rapport aux actions de gouvernance. Merci.
Thank you, Martin. Nana Safo, just before we lost you, we were contemplating the next steps as far as this session is concerned. Martin did us a great job by taking us through while you were off. You joined along the line, so possibly you heard some of the things that he talked about. If there's anything you want to add, the platform is yours now, and we can allow some 2-3 minutes of questioning. Some questions have been asked already, but we can ask for that, then we bring today's edition channel.
Sure, thank you, and thanks, Martin, for stepping in.
Yeah,
I don't know what really happened, but it was just like sudden, you know. But I think Martin has already, said everything. At least the little I heard is in line with what I was going to talk about. The only thing that probably I'll add to it is concerning the metadata. So the metadata basically, you know, as a DRep, you have the opportunity to actually kind of put something like a complete bio, or let's say what do you call it, mission statement or something, like, you know, something that defines you as a DRep, and you know how you even make your decision. So you can put all of those information in your metadata, so that it becomes easy for delegators to actually read and understand before they even decide to contact you via your socials or whatever to have their engagement with you. So I think that is pretty much it. As discussed earlier, anyone can actually become a DRep. It's an open pool, but hopefully going forward, there are probably going to be measures that will limit who can be a DRep and who cannot be a DRep. But as it stands now, discussions are that anybody can basically become a DRep and participate as a DRep. And as discussed earlier, the reward schemes are still being discussed. But for now, what the options on board basically seems to me like as a DRep, you basically need to be amongst the top DReps to earn a reward, one way or the other. Because if there are thresholds and then you're not meeting the thresholds, then obviously you're not going to be able to earn rewards for the work you do. But if you're meeting the thresholds and you are finding yourself among the top, of course, if you're meeting the threshold, you're going to earn rewards. And then if you find yourself among the top as well, then you get to earn bonus rewards in addition to the default rewards that you will earn. So for anybody who wants to, become a DRep, of course, I would encourage you to, probably start thinking about what your profile is going to look like, what is going to guide your decision, and what kind of rules you're going to set for yourself, to guide your behavior in the ecosystem as a DRep. Because this is going to be very critical for delegators to actually decide, who or which DRep basically aligns with our principles and our rules before we delegate to. And just as Martin said, if you're a DRep and you're not conforming with, basic rules or basic guidelines, then obviously you're going to have people, redelegating their either from your pool or from your, should I say, let me just use stance, from your stance to another stance, right? So they're going to take away their delegation from you and then give it to another delegation, just as it's happening with stake pools now, right? So if you're a stake pool and your mission and your vision, right? People realize that you're not going about it anymore. So you're kind of drifting away from your mission and your vision. They take away their delegation and then they delegate to other stake pools too. Who probably conform with their vision as well, right? So as a DRep, you need to make sure that all of these are intact with you, and then you are very transparent. Whatever it is that you're doing, you communicate very well with your community. You sort their ideas and their thoughts before you make the final decision as far as voting is concerned, and that probably would allow delegators to stick with you and even fetch you more delegators from the community. It is going to be competitive though, but I think if you put in the work and you put in the right work, definitely you are going to earn delegation and be able to cast or participate in the process and probably earn some rewards as well from there. So I think, I'll pause here and then probably you can take some questions and then probably get off the call.
Yes, thank you very much. I think it's a good time for questions now. The last few weeks for August has been very informative and very educative as far as our DRep education is concerned. Please, if you have any question, you can type in the chat or raise your hand. I'll call you. Let's use a few minutes to do this. While we wait for questions, myself, I have one quick question. Nana, of today, I'm not asking many questions, just one question. I've listened, I've followed, and there's this that I want to know. Is there any conscious effort by the ecosystem that ensure fair representation or the diversity among these DReps? Is there something that is being done so that it can at least, let's say, prevent maybe centralization of power or something that ensures diverse perspectives?
That's an interesting question. And, that is basically the problem that the introduction of CIP 1694 sought to actually, kind of solve or resolve, right? Because in the past moment, it has always been like we have some form of individuals or organizations just controlling the ecosystem and the actual community not having enough power to actually inform decisions. So there's a need for these whole governance actions to, happen so that, now the community become more like a decentralized community, like, everybody can feel like, yeah, this is a decentralized community. So of course there are steps in the CIP 1694 and there are discussions that actually sought to ensure that there's more like a fair playground. And I think with this DRep ecosystem and initiative, the effort here has to do with the guidelines that are being put in place, right? So if you look at the guidelines and the code of conduct, it talks about cyber attacks and measures that needs to be taken care of by people who want to be and even ADA holders when they want to delegate their voting power to DReps. So and just as we say, there are no rules, right? But there are values that need to be respected by anybody who wants to be part of this DRep ecosystem.
5 o'clock, but questions and answers.
This DRep is probably going to, it is estimated that this whole initiative, which is the code of conduct, is going to ensure that there is that fair level playground for everybody to participate in this DRep. But of course, as human beings as we are, there's obviously going to be I don't know how to put it, but there's going to be some people who probably will not want to conform to the values or the code of conduct. And of course, as time goes on, I'm sure there's going to be measures that would fish out all of these individuals and then probably kick them out of the ecosystem. Like I said, when we look at the main code of conduct, if somebody is misbehaving in the ecosystem, you don't need to tolerate. You just have to report, and then the necessary measures will be taken against the said individual organization to ensure that the ecosystem is free from all of these other attacks. But of course, this is something that I think I've discussed with Richmond before, and I personally have been thinking about how we can really prevent centralization, because from afar it looks like those with big bucks obviously would have the essential power to impact.
Yeah, that's why I was very particular about this question, but I think you are giving explanation on that. Mercy, I see your hand up. Do you want to make a reaction to what Nana Safwa just said, or it's a question?
Pretty much what has been said. I wanted to add to, sort of make a comment in the sense that for DReps that don't, that either say one thing and vote another way or are not transparent, that is what is called liquid democracy. People can move their delegation, right? Yeah. So that's one big disincentive. Because this is decentralized, right? So technically, there is no central power that can say, hey, you can be a DRep or you can't be a DRep. It all has to do with how stake moves. But back to your original question, Samuel, I think that's a key question in terms of fair representation when it comes to delegating power. And I think that those are things that actually need to be discussed at the workshop. It's something that I've tried to bring up wherever I've been, because when you look at even stake pool delegation, it's very difficult for certain regions of the world to actually get delegation, right? So this is a very hot topic that needs to be discussed, but I think I'll end here. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Seydou, your hand has been up for quite some time now. I'll allow you, but in order that our French folks will not lose track of what has been said by Mercy and Nana Safwa regarding my question, Martin will give us a summary of that. Then Seydou can come in with his question.
Et voilà, c'était des questions intéressantes. Et la question au départ il y avait une inquiétude sur le fait que on pouvait se retrouver avec une centralisation des pouvoirs. On pourrait se retrouver dans des circonstances où il y a une certaine partie qui monopolise les pouvoirs. Et il y a Nana qui a essayé de clarifier en disant que le processus est quand même décentralisé et ouvert à tout le monde. Donc, tout le monde peut joindre. Mais il y a toujours ce caractère-là humain qui peut pousser les gens à transgresser les règles Mais il a signalé aussi que nous avons un code de conduite qui regorge des valeurs qu'on aimerait que les DRep puissent garder. Et Madame Mercy a intervenu en disant que tout d'abord, au départ, les processus c'est décentralisé, donc tout le monde peut joindre. Mais il y a ces problèmes-là avec surtout les votes qui doivent fonctionner avec de l'argent. Il y a cette disparité-là des ressources et des pouvoirs. Il a donné l'exemple des stake pools dans certaines régions du monde qui ont du mal à attirer des délégations. Cela pourrait être le cas même pour les DRep. Et voilà, donc elle dit que partout où elle passe, c'est une question qu'elle essaie de ramener chaque fois. Et elle espère que avec les ateliers sur la Constitution, on va peut-être commencer à avoir des discussions sérieuses autour de la question, pour voir si on peut avoir des alternatives ou des solutions à cela. Merci.
Thank you. Seydou, the floor is yours now.
All right, thank you very much. Please, am I clear?
Yeah, very clear.
Oh, thank you very much. So thank Nana for the brief and concise presentation on the DReps, as well as the contribution. In fact, I joined pretty late, but I have also enjoyed and learned a lot from this short time that I've joined. So I have a question and some contribution in regards to maybe how we can see to it that the DReps program or the Subsystem 94 is not being centralized by one or two people. Maybe if we can have it such a way that as a DRep, delegation to a particular DRep should be subject to maybe saturation, such a way that maybe if we can say that maybe 2 million EDA or 10 million EDA should not be delegated to one particular DRep, to see to it that maybe this is just an example, to see to it that maybe people are not delegating to one particular region or one particular person, so that he take control of the decision that have been carrying on in the ecosystem going forward. So that is just my comment on that. And we're looking at those discussions as we are still trying to rectify and see how best the program will come out. The second contribution is coming in the angle of where we are talking about the registration of a DRep. For my experience is that there will be two charges. But one will be deposit and one will be fee. We made it clear that the fee will be just some token, either through ADA or not up to even through ADA. That one is non-refundable. I mean, when you register as a DRep and then they take that to ADA, that one will not refundable. But when you retire as a DRep, the 500 ADA will be refund back to you as a DRep. This is just to show commitment of the tax that you want to do. And even maybe when you are not getting people to delegate, you can rely on that 500 ADA to contribute to government action. So we're talking about maybe when you retire. When I read from the document, they said that when you don't participate in government action for 3 epochs, you'll be moved to non-active DReps. So they categorize DReps in active DRep, non-active, and then non-delegative. So I think the program is still now a bit complex and technical. We have to make time and then get it done. This question that I have is something that I've asked some platform and I'm not getting answers. So I just want to repeat it here. If someone has an answer to that, it will help me. We know DReps will be in 2 folds: Catalyst DReps and then the main Cardano DReps as well. Because we know in Project Catalyst, stake pools doesn't play a role in that. But we know in DReps, for them, they will be playing a crucial role when it comes to decision making in Project Catalyst. So I don't know with regards to the registration aspect. When you are registering, because now that we are doing the beta, we are not seeing anything with regards to Catalyst. When you register as a DRep, are you going to be automatically become a Catalyst DRep as well, or you are still going to be a DRep limited to governance action with regards to the protocol of the Cardano ecosystem? this is just a question that I would like to put forward for more deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sedu. Nana Safo, I don't know if the question is clear. I think it's an interesting question. Would you want to take that?
It is very clear as well. Thanks,
Okay.
thank you for bringing this up, and then thanks for the contributions you made earlier regarding the registration fee and the deposit. I think you've thrown more light on the clarity, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I think Richmond, we were discussing this some time ago, whether the DRep is just catalyst DRep and CIP 1694 DRep all together. Like, is it the same thing? It depends and stuff. So yeah, of course, CIP 1694 DRep basically is dealing with Cardano governance, Cardano on-chain governance, right? And then there's going to be Catalyst DRep, and I think even Catalyst DRep was introduced before this CIP 1694 DRep actually also came into picture. But it appears now that because of the involvement of Intersect, the CIP 1694 DRep is making more waves as compared to the Catalyst DRep. And to answer your question, Sedu, for now, what we are working on is a CIP 1694 DRep. So when you register, you have registered as a Cardano DRep, which is a CIP 1694, right? And there has not been any clear communication whatsoever with regards to the Catalyst DRep as to how they are going to even go about their registration. I think sometime back they sent forms around, requesting people who want to become DReps to actually, provide answers to, those forms. I think Madam Mercy even applied also, but yeah. So that one is different. It is going to be entirely different, even though the process is very similar, and there are some, there's more of similarities with respect to the process and the activities in there, but it is going to be, functionally they're going to be different, right? So just as you said, in the space of Catalyst, for instance, you could say that stake pools don't really play much of a role in there because they don't really vote. But of course, some stake pools who have personal wallets, they can delegate to their they can use their wallets to register as voters and vote and stuff. But like the term stake pool doesn't really play, it's more like a key role in there. But then of course there's going to be Catalyst DRep, and the idea was that with the Catalyst DRep, so we are not going to have individual voters going about proposals and voting on them, but it's going to be DRep. So you delegate your voting power to DRep so that they vote on proposals on your behalf. That was the initial discussion, but up until now, there's at least to the best of my knowledge, there's not been much of a communication to actually outline what the roadmap looks for. Catalyst DRep. But what we are doing now, as far as Intersect is concerned, basically has to do with the CIP 1694 DRep implementation, and it could be that once this is migrated onto mainnet and everything is running very smoothly, it will just be copied to Catalyst, and then that is it. So they can just basically create a room in there for Catalyst DReps to also operate. So, and it can be that even at the end of the day they can merge it. So if you are CIP 1694 DRep, automatically they can say that okay, now you can also, or you are a Catalyst DRep and you can vote on Catalyst proposals as well. But it wouldn't be more like a compulsory thing for you to do, right? Because not everybody is interested in those Catalyst activities, but some are interested in the entire Cardano activities and proposals and governance actions. So it could be that at the end of the day, you will have, you just register once as a DRep, and then you have the opportunity to participate as both a Catalyst DRep and then the Cardano DRep. And it can also be that, you register as a Cardano DRep separately, and then you register as a Catalyst DRep separately. It all depends on when we move to mainnet and what the parameters look like at the end of the day. I don't know, but does that at least provide you an insight about your question?
Sure. Very clear.
Thank you very much, our moderators, Martin. Thank you very much, Nana Safo. Thank you very much, the team, Edufua, Richmond, Laurentine. Thank you for all the diverse behind the scenes work that you do to make the program a success. To you, our audience or our participants, without you, these programs will not be a success. Thank you very much for coming through. At this point, I'll request that Mercy is on the call. Maybe when we are back in September, we can repeat this session with the more practical experience so that people can really, those who have so much interest like myself, to join the DRep can at least go through the practical experience. Thank you very much, everybody.